making amends, taking you back cause you wanna pretend to be better again. I promise to hear you out, better believe I am all that I said. Taking your hand when you're gonna submit to it, better again if you have another round.
Hey everyone, welcome to the newest episode of On That Note with Parker Whirling. Today's guest was born in Nicaragua, grew up in Miami, and now resides in Los Angeles, California. She's been featured in Spotify playlists like Fresh Finds Latin and Latinx Indie Rising. She's got a new song out right now called All That I Said, and I'm so excited to talk to her on the podcast. Please welcome HYRA. HYRA, nice to meet you. Thanks for coming on the show. I love your lovely plants behind you.
Oh my God, thank you. I'm a big plant mom.
Are you really?
Yeah.
I'm so bad at taking care of plants. I want to be a cool plant dad, but every time I try to take care of them, they die within a few weeks.
It's learned. It's a learned experience. I had one of my best friends was my roommate when I lived in New York, and she was it was a jungle in our apartment. And once I moved out, I was like, wait, I miss them. So now it's a learned. There's been a lot of deaths, but
yeah, a lot of trial and error. You need that for New York too. You need that greenery surrounding you.
Yes.
Perfect. Well, I appreciate you coming on the show. I heard your song All That I Said, which came out very recently, October 23rd. I loved it. I was like, I have to have her on the show to talk about this, and subsequently listen to your other two songs and loved them. Yeah. So
thank you so much. Yeah. I'm so glad to hear that you ran into All That I Said. That's super cool.
Yeah, I can't even remember. I think I just found you through Spotify, the fans also from
really?
somebody else I was listening to. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
That's what I'll do when I'm just finding artists. I'll go to the people I've already interviewed and kind of look at the what their fans also listen to. And I found you and I was like, dude, this girl is sick. She knows what's up.
Thank you.
So, I wanted to ask you about that song, All That I Said. How did that song start? What was the writing and recording process for it?
Yeah, so that song is definitely the most special one I think that I've written. I mean, I've definitely written a lot of songs, but I only have three songs out under HYRA. So that one's really special. And so basically, it was kind of so my producer, his name is Mistrada. He always makes the beats first. And then I'll take a listen and kind of be like, I like this one, I like this one, I like that one. And that beat specifically just sounded very inspiring. So I was like, okay, whatever I write to this has to matter. I can't just be I love you, you love me, we're a happy family. I can't, I had to I wanted to say something. And with this one, I had recently heard a story of a friend who had gone through a tough time. And so I wanted the song to kind of talk about that experience through the perspective, not of the person going through a tough time, but the person that is that you love, so my friend is having a tough time and I'm watching them go through it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that kind of experience I feel isn't just that, the subject going through it. It's also if you really love someone, it'll be everyone around them too. So that's kind of what the song's about. So I just really honed in on that one story and that one thought and just ran with it. And I wanted to write a message of support, but also that felt very, it's a pop song. I wanted to evoke emotion and get people, but maybe to dance and stuff. So it's kind of a paradoxical a little bit, because it's the song sounds like a pop song, but it's actually giving you the story of pain and struggle and support. So I hope that answers your question a little bit. So so beat first, then songwriting, and then we both, my producer and I, go through it together, kind of just fixing it, making it perfect.
Right, kind of like a collaboration.
Yeah. I mean, that's how we work. Yeah, definitely.
Gotcha. That song gets me pumped up. It's funny because
really?
it is such a pop song, and I hear it's cool to hear it's kind of about an outsider's perspective, almost viewing this situation happening. And that is, just as much of an interesting story as the thing, being in the middle of it, is seeing somebody else's perspective of what is going down. It gets you, I think that song gets me pumped up. That's the one that really gets me going, I think.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I think that song does that for me too, and I think it's because of the actual lyrics itself, and I'm supposed to be releasing the lyrics soon in some cute way of just having people read them, because I don't think they're online yet. But yeah, it's like the lyrics say like, take in your hand when you're gonna submit to it, better again if you have another round. So it's like, it's just like that. It's really just a message of like support. So like I think that's why it gets me excited. Like also it's like a very pump song, but just like, there's so many people who don't have that person to tell them I'm here for you. And in some way I wanted this song to kind of like reflect that, or like be that person to be like, hey, like even though you're going through it, like we're going through it together. I think that having that person is important. So yeah, that's what the song's. I'm like super getting in my feelings, but yeah, that's what the song's about.
That's good. Hey, that's great. Was there a lyric or even a melody that came to you first when your producer played that song for you?
um Writing that song is kind of a blur. It was kind of a blur. So like when I get really excited about like a certain like melody or beat, it just kind of like I kind of just like vomit it out. I'll just like the melody will just come, or like the lyrics will just come, and I'll just have to tweak a few things. But no, I don't really specifically remember. I remember the most the most exciting part was the actual chorus, because it's like a little chanty. So like when it came out of me, I would say when I birthed it, it was just like it was a chant as well. So now I was like, wait, this is like really catchy. So I think that's the memorable part of the songwriting experience. Yeah.
How did you know that the chorus was set? You know what I mean? Like, did you have versions of that chorus before, and then finally this hit you? Did it feel like it came out of like the universe and like
It
threw
came
you
out
out
of,
of nowhere?
yeah, there was some euphoric experience, yeah, for sure. Yeah. Like I was just like,
That's how you
okay,
know it's like
I think it's
legit.
done. Yeah. I think that's how it felt. I was like, okay, I think this is it. And then obviously I have to like, we do it, our song. I guess it's like our project, HYRA, but he's a producer. So anyways, I presented it to him and he was just like, damn. And like once I get that reaction, it's like there's like specific look in his eye that he gets, and I was like, okay, dope, I did it. There's
Right.
a lot of trial and error, but this one just clicked, which is good.
When it hits you in the feels, you can't ignore it.
Exactly, yeah.
So you premiered this song on Mujerista. How did you get involved with that?
So basically I'm Latina, so I'm Nicaragüense, and the Mujerista is a Latinx community like media platform, which is actually run. So the founder is actually Nicaraguan too. So I think she actually told me that her dad showed her my music because he was like, hey, like this is a Nicaraguan artist. There's not a lot of like indie pop artists like that are Nicaraguan. So that's how I got involved. So we kind of just like, it kind of just happened because we were both from the same country, and she really liked the idea of like a Latinx indie pop artist, and she wanted to give me that platform. So that's kind of how it happened, which is really cool.
That's awesome. Do you feel like having the platform that you do, that you have sort of a responsibility in a way to speak for people like Latinx artists in the indie community?
Yeah, I mean, more than anything, I guess like, just taking it back to when I was young and I wanted to make music, or when that was like an idea that I had that I wanted to make music. I was always looking, I looked up to female pop artists. That's always been my thing. Like I love every, like Lady Gaga, like Gwen Stefani, like I love all them. But I never had anyone who like looked like me, or had my accent or was from where I was. And now I feel like, just I've been kind of just doing it myself without like really being like, I want to be a representation or anything. But the more that I do it, the more that I realize that like, it maybe in some way I can be sort of a representation for a little girl like me to like, be like, hey, she looks like me, she speaks like me, like, and she's doing it in English, which is really cool. Because of course there's artists that look and speak like me, but their project is mainly in Spanish. But what I'm trying to do is just like pop music, English pop music. And I've been really fortunate to be connected to young women or just young people who are like, wow, like, thank you, for doing this. And I'm like, thanks, I guess, So yeah, it feels like a responsibility, but not a big one, more than like I make music for fun. I make music because I like it. And if it inspires people, like that's a big goal, that's a big, so it's not a responsibility. Like I feel like responsibility is like it has like negative connotations to it. If anything, I'm just like really happy that I can be sort of like that image for somebody who eventually wants to make music. Yeah.
It's really cool that you can be yourself, and by being yourself, you inspire others to want to, to be true to themselves. Especially like when you see somebody who, like, I see Rex Orange County. The first time I like saw him and listened to his music, I was like, that guy kind of looks like a goofy, skinny white guy. Like, and he's doing everything in his apartment too. So it makes you feel like if somebody like that can do it, then why not me? Because we're like almost the same person. So I think there's so much power in being able to see people like you doing what you want to do. And with the internet and with Zoom now being a huge thing and everybody's on social media, it's like you can tune into any channel. You can find anybody in the world that is like you and likes the same things and inspires each other.
Yeah, and I think that's been the coolest part of I guess like launching this project or navigating it, is just like being able to connect with people who are like me or like the same things, and it's just like very motivating because I'm like, okay, like, I'm not necessarily alone in this, or they're not alone in this. Like, I had someone reach out and be like, how do you start recording at home? And I'm like, welcome to the world of like your at-home studio. And just like getting to explain that was really cool, because I wish that I would have had somebody a long time ago tell me like, okay, maybe you should buy this, this, and this, and have your like little home studio going. So yeah, that online community thing is really cool.
Yeah, you can get stuck thinking you need a whole big ass studio that you have to rent and a producer you have to work with and do all this stuff, when really, like, if you got GarageBand, you can look up tutorials on YouTube. And
that's how I started.
Yeah, it's like that's how everyone starts. I mean, not everybody, but there's nothing wrong with humble beginnings like that.
Yeah.
And it's like building blocks. You get better and better the more you try it out.
Yeah, so it's cool. It's cool to like be like, hey, like, this is GarageBand, just open it up, and that's all where you have to start, and that's been really cool.
Right. So you live in Los Angeles now, right?
Yes.
But you are from Nicaragua and grew up in Miami. Do you feel like those two places have brought any like unique insight to how you write and record music?
Like Miami and Nicaragua? Yeah, so I feel that, I mean, your culture definitely shapes the way you think and the way you carry yourself. I'm super proud of being Latina. I love being Hispanic. I'm like blessed, I'm thank you universe for that. So I definitely do think it's shaped who I am, and because of that, the way I approach life and thus the way I write. I think that a big thing for me is always making sure that there's like a positive message or like a fun and easygoing message. I mean, I just told you that all that I said was kind of heavy, but it was positive. Like, that's what I was trying to do.
Like I said, it pumps me up. So it's, like, it's still kind of lighthearted.
Yeah, exactly. So, there, and those are like, I would say like big values, at least in my family, where, just like embracing positivity and like making sure that, you always see like the bright side of things. So I guess that in a way that's kind of affected my music project and the way that I approach it, for sure.
Wow. That's awesome. And definitely your immediate surroundings are going to have so much of an impact on how you write, I think, especially.
I think so. Yes.
Perfect. Well, that's going to take us over to the last 5. I'm just going to ask you 5 quick questions and then we'll be out of here.
Yeah.
All right. Number 1, in the studio or playing live?
I haven't had the opportunity to really play live because of COVID.
So you never played live before?
So I used to go under the name of Dragon Fox back when I was like in college and I first started making music. I said, let me give myself the most bonkers name and nobody's going to take me seriously, but I got taken pretty seriously, which was funny. And I played one show, just like one show. That's all. I mean, 2 shows. I played 2 shows and that's it. And it's been 2 years now. So I would say because of quarantine and because of that, I would say in the studio because I feel more comfortable, but I would say live because I haven't done it yet under HYRA and I really want to. So
yeah.
In between 50-50.
You can always do one of those live stream shows. Those have been really popular.
Oh, that's maybe. So 50-50.
50-50.
Sure.
That's 50-50. A very 50-50 question. Everybody I ask, I always think I know what they're going to say and then they'll surprise me. So most people are like, oh, I love being comfortable in the studio. Like I'm kind of that way too. But the energy you get from playing live is like totally different.
Yeah. I mean, once I said, my first show, I was like really nervous and I went, everybody put your hands up. And then I had like a split second where I was like, what if nobody puts their hands up? And they did. And I was like, oh my God, thank you.
It's the confidence. That's all you need, really. It's the
Yeah.
confidence.
So yeah, definitely 50-50 for those introvert moments that I have.
Hell yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I understand that completely. All right. Number 2. What's on your musical rotation right now?
I listen to a lot of Lady Gaga 100% of the time. I'm a huge Lady Gaga fan, so she's on it always. I listen to Julieta Venegas, which she's like an indie pop Latin music. I listen to, damn, this is a hard question. I guess
You're flying by though.
I'll just state the regs. Marina and the Diamonds. Well, she goes by Marina now. I love her too. Um, Miguel Bosé. I listened to a lot of his Papito album, which is great. He's like super inspiring. Damn, I feel like I've been listening to, I think her name is Elle Devine, and she goes by Peachy Keen. Like, I mean, there's a song that she has, which is Peachy Keen, which I've just been like blasting.
Peachy Keen.
Peachy Keen, yeah, it's really cool. So I would say those to keep it safe. I would say those are. I've definitely been listening to more things, but I can't name it off the top of my head.
Nice. Yeah. Everybody I ask, they'll like pull out their phone and check out all their Spotify. I'm like, that's the only way I know what I'm listening to. Because if somebody asks me like on the street, like I'll be like, I have no clue what I'm actually listening to right now. I have to like go check my phone. I'm like, oh yeah, I guess I do really like that.
Oh no, I listen to, I have like a rotation, like a weekly rotation of just like artists that I always listen to. So those are that lists.
Gotcha. Well, who's your dream artist or producer to work with?
I'm not really sure. I know that the dream artist to meet and to like have a conversation with or acknowledge my existence would be Lady Gaga. That would be crazy. I think I would cry immediately. I think I would just like not be able to say anything.
She's an icon.
She's amazing. She's amazing. I think what her project does with spreading positivity and like embracing yourself is reflects a lot of the things that I want to be able to do with mine eventually. So I think that would be really cool. I don't know if I'd be able to like work with her because that'd be scary, but yeah.
Oh, you could do it. What are you talking about?
But def the Gaga for sure.
Definitely Lady Gaga.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, that's a great answer.
Yeah.
All right, number 4. What's your favorite decade of music?
I would say late 90s, early 2000s for
Really?
sure. Yeah, I think pop was doing really cool things back then, or maybe 2010s, which is like when I was a teenager. We had like Katy Perry.
Yeah,
doing
2010s
great
are
song.
the one I've been saying lately. Just because that's kind of when I fell in love with music. You know?
Well, yeah. Well, I like the late. Well, I listen to a lot of like my mom's pretty young, so I listened to a lot of her music. And when she was kind of like in her teenage, it was like the 90s. So I guess in for Spanish music, I would say like late 90s.
So what artists back then?
So Aterciopelados, which is like a Colombian, I think, like indie rock band. And Soda Stereo, which is like, they're huge. They're like, if you haven't listened, I mean, I don't know if you speak Spanish, but like,
I hesitate to say I speak Spanish, but
you understand it.
I understand some of it. Like you have to speak slow, and I can communicate, but I will be pretty slow with you. You know.
Oh, that's okay. But yeah, if you want to give it a shot to one of like the greatest rock bands in Spanish, you listen to Soda Stereo.
So nice. Like Soda Stereo. Send me a few links when we're done.
Yeah,
that sounds
I
awesome. I have one of my best friends is Colombian, so she'll send me like stuff by people who are from Colombia and like what her parents listen to, and it's always interesting. You know, I love checking out stuff from other countries.
Yeah, I'll send it out to you.
Please
They're
do,
really
please.
Cool. Yeah. I would say they inspire a lot of the ways that I approach my project too. So yes, I will send to you.
Awesome. All right, well, last question and then we'll be done here.
Yeah.
What to you is a perfect album front to back?
Damn, that's a hard one. I had two. I feel like I've spoken about Lady Gaga a lot, so I'm just gonna like.
I was about to say, just bring it on. I know we're doing Lady Gaga.
I know, but I'm trying to think of like another album that really got to me.
Do you have a favorite Lady Gaga album?
Of course. I mean,
Which one?
Well, I really like The Fame, which is like one of her big ones, like her first ones, I would say.
Okay.
Then like Born This Way was awesome. Or The Fame Monster. I don't know. I'm just like all of it. Like I look at her project as just like one big album. So I can't pick. So that's why I'm trying to think of something else, just like an album I listen to. I think I'm just gonna stick with her. She makes me cry. I listen to her and I cry. So I think I'm just gonna go with the OG Gaga. Yeah, for sure.
OG Gaga. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that sounds good to me. It's like you can't argue with her success.
Yeah. I mean, but it's not about that. I think it's just like her, like they sound just like pop songs, right? But I think like I'm not gonna get into this spiel of my Lady Gaga spiel, but
get into it. Let's go. Come on.
It's def more than that. I feel like she was really trying to like break the norm in pop music, and just like by using very, in some ways, like simplistic language, trying to say more. And I think that's something I try to do too, because like, you know, I write poetry and stuff, so sometimes I'll like try to stick in this big word that like describes a specific feeling, but I feel like maybe not a lot of people will like connect to that as easily if you don't use like colloquial language. So that's something I try to do. I feel like I've learned a lot from her specifically, and just the way that she carries herself. Back when I was like you know, a teenager, was very extravagant, the way that her image was, and I feel like that's definitely not me. I'm like wearing a black turtleneck, but just in the way that she like inspires, I think is cool. And then I guess like the other album that I think I was thinking about, I think it's called To Pimp a Butterfly, which is like Kendrick, and his storytelling there is insane. I remember, I don't listen to a lot of hip hop anymore, but I remember when I listened to that, I was like, wow, like that, he really knows how to use his words, and like I really look up to that. So I would say that too. Yeah.
I was talking to a former guest on this show, Sally Boy, and he mentioned To Pimp a Butterfly for being one of the best albums of all time because of its like execution. Like it executed this perfect vision from the first song to the very end. And that was an album that I listened to a lot when it came out in 2015. And then I think I listened to it too much and didn't listen to it again for years and years, and came back. I listened to it this year, like on the day, like the 4 or 5 year anniversary of when it got released. And I was like, this shit is incredible. Like
it's crazy. Yeah.
Like, not that it's slept on, because everybody knows how amazing it is, but you just know how good it's going to be even in 25 years.
Oh yeah. It's like when I first listened to it, I remember just like, I was like in my living room and I sat down and I like put my headphones on. I was like, oh, let me hear like what he has to say. Like, you know, because he always has something crazy to say. So I was like, let me hear. And I listened to it front to back, and I was just like, wow, you know, how do you get there? How do you get there? These are just like lyrical genius. Those are like the once in a lifetime kind of artists that just like pop up and just like reshape the way people think and listen to music. So I would say that album too. Yeah.
Great answer.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, HYRA, on that note, thank you for coming on the show and talking about your music, your process, your writing style, and we'll have to do it again soon. Seriously, I appreciated you coming on and talking about all your stuff. Everyone needs to check you out, your new song, All That I Said, and if you have any new music, we'll be looking forward to that too.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, and I think I saw that you're also you know, you make music yourself, so you know, just sending you all the good vibes for your
Thank you. Hey, I appreciate that. You know, artists gotta stick together.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, of course. HYRA, thanks again. I'll talk to you later.
Bye. See ya. Yeah.
They say you're difficult.